Are Liverpool in a crisis? Ekitike and Alisson out injured. Florian Wirtz, Kerkez and Frimpong are being called flops by everyone around the media and on the socials, with a tough fixture run coming their way with Real Madrid, Manchester City, Chelsea, Crystal Palace again, and Man United in their next 12 games. It could be a very, very tough run. Meanwhile, Arsenal have got an easier fixture run. They are on the back end of their tough run after just beating Newcastle United. Liverpool suffer back-to-back defeats this season, and the meltdown online is absolutely extraordinary right now. We're going to try and be as honest as we can. I do think there are problems with this Liverpool team, and I do think there are problems with Arne Slot's tactics. Playing Frimpong on the right-hand side for 45 minutes should never happen again unless you are playing really, really poor opposition. Not in a hostile atmosphere, away in Turkey against the Galatasaray side that have got good players, Victor Osimhen, Leroy Sané on the bench, Ilkay Gundogan at 35 years of age. Liverpool could not deal with that press. Has this changed anything in the title race? Big games coming up this weekend where Arsenal do play first, playing against a very, very poor West Ham side. Then 2 or 3 hours later, Liverpool's trip to Stamford Bridge. Could it be 3 defeats in a row? Will Liverpool bounce back? Are Chelsea actually that good to break Liverpool down? We're going to break it all down in this video. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already. And make sure you do hit that subscribe button. We are steamrolling our way towards 100,000 subscribers. I believe we are less than 700 away now, or less than 800 away, apologies, from hitting 80,000. 90% of you who watch the content every single day haven't subscribed. So please go down and hit this subscribe button. Now, I saw this tweet last night. Geezy, LFC Geezy tweeted out back-to-back Liverpool losses. Alisson's annual injury has arrived. Ekitike injured. Wirtz still hasn't found his foot. Team playing like they haven't touched a football before. Slot calling players out. Awful week for Liverpool. Now, if you're an Arsenal fan in this title race, you're looking at tweets like this and you're thinking, maybe something is happening. Maybe the tide is changing. Let's start with the top one. Liverpool weren't great against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace deserved to win. If it wasn't for Alisson Becker, excuse me, it would have been 4 or 5-1. Last night, you can talk about the penalty decision all you want. However, Liverpool with 17, 18 shots, only 4 on target. With the injuries they faced, they weren't good enough last night. And I want to look at Liverpool's next 5 or 6 games in all competitions before we start talking about Arne Slot and the lineup they played yesterday. So their next 5 games, or let's do next 7 games, and then we'll come back to this tweet. Make sure you are dropping a like as well. So it says they have got Chelsea away at Stamford Bridge Saturday the 4th. Then if they don't win this game and they go back-to-back defeats, that is going to be a tough time for 2 weeks in the international break against before they play Manchester United. If they go on and win this game, and let's say Arsenal draw against West Ham, they're back on cloud 9 with a 4 or 5 point gap. However, there is going to be huge pressure on Liverpool because this game's at 5:30 on Saturday. Then they are international break. They come back and play a terrible Man United side, which they comfortably should batter. Then they play a Frankfurt side in the Champions League that have already conceded 10 goals. After that, though, Brentford away is not an easy game. Crystal Palace, although it's in the League Cup, have got Liverpool's number right now. Aston Villa is not an easy game. And then they play Real Madrid. Then after that, I believe they have Manchester City. Yep, Manchester City, Nottingham Forest, and then it gets a lot easier where they play Forest, PSV, West Ham, Sunderland, Leeds. And then after that, we get into December, and they've got Inter Milan, Brighton, Spurs, and Wolves. They haven't got an easy run of games by any stretch of the imagination. When you compare that to who Arsenal have got to play during that time, and the fact that Arsenal looks like they've turned the corner, if you look at their next 7 games, they've got Olympiacos tonight, West Ham at home, Fulham away, Atletico Madrid at home, Crystal Palace at home. But then they've got Brighton, Burnley. I believe the next one may be Sunderland. Slavia Prague, Sunderland, Spurs, Bayern Munich, Chelsea, and Brentford. I think Arsenal's games are considerably easier during that time because all the tough games they've got to play, the Bayern Munichs, the Brightons, the Spurses, the Atletico Madrids, they're all at the Emirates. They don't really have a huge amount of games away from home where you're going, other than the Chelsea game, that's pretty much their hardest away game. Every other game is at home. Look at their next 7 games. They've got 5 of them at the Emirates. Brighton, Palace, Atletico Madrid, West Ham, and Olympiacos. As it stands right now, a lot of the bookies are making Arsenal title favourites because of their recent form, Liverpool. They will be losing Alisson Becker, and I'm unsure if Ekitike is going to miss the game at the weekend. I want to talk about Florian Wirtz, Kerkez, and Frimpong. Arne Slot yesterday played Frimpong as a right winger for the first 45 minutes. And I think it's fair to say he shouldn't be playing there again. He shouldn't be playing there again. He subbed him off for Conor Bradley and then put Conor Bradley at right back and moved Szoboszlai up. I understand why he wants to do it because he wants to control the game and keep possession and really, try to dominate the football match. But if you've got Conor Bradley on the bench, I personally would have started him. I think he's a better defender than Frimpong and Szoboszlai. Kerkez hasn't been that great so far this season. I think some of the disrespect on Florian Wirtz is over the top. However, he does need criticism. 6 games in the Premier League, 1 game in the Charity Shield, 2 games in the Champions League, and I don't think he played the League Cup game. He was better yesterday, but they need more. I understand he doesn't get to decide his price tag, and I think anyone who is attacking him due to the price tag he left Bayer Leverkusen for to join Liverpool, it's outrageous. But if you're joining Liverpool, they need a little bit more. If you got 2 options, Arne Slot. You either play him until the form kicks in or you drop him. But if you play him and it doesn't work out the next 2 or 3 games, people are going to get on his back. If you drop him, it will absolutely crucify his confidence because then your big star player is going to be on the bench. Now, Ekitike has been Liverpool's best player from an attacking perspective this season. He is injured. I'm unsure, if he actually is going to make the Chelsea game. If he isn't going to make the Chelsea game, that is a tough test. Chelsea away without Alisson and without Ekitike, meaning that Alexander Isak would probably have to play a full 90 against Chelsea. Now, I do think Liverpool should go back to basics. I'm not going to lie. This lineup is what I think Liverpool should be playing. Georgie Mamardashvili against Chelsea. Gomez, Van Dijk. I would drop Konate personally. Robertson and Conor Bradley. McAllister, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch. Ekitike on the left if he's fit. Isak and Salah. If he's not fit, play Gakpo on the left. Like, that centre-back pairing back in 2020 won the Premier League together. They know how to play together. Are Liverpool looking at it right now? Luis Diaz, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Some Liverpool fans online are saying they shouldn't have sold those players. But you can't go back on it now. It hasn't been a great week. Arne Slot is calling out players. And a lot of this right now is exactly what Arsenal fans want to see. Misery, turmoil, players at each other's throat, shouting at each other, the fans losing confidence. Because that essentially, that pressure, that animosity in a crowd breathes onto the pitch. Team playing like they haven't touched the ball before. They weren't good against Crystal Palace, and they certainly weren't good against Galatasaray. Florian Wirtz, I think Liverpool need to give him time. Now, Simon Jordan on TalkSport said, this isn't a crisis. It's just a blip. I do believe it could be a blip. We will only find out in due course when you look at their next 8 games. These next 8 games, when that back three, those 3 centre-backs, Gomez, Konate and Van Dijk, will be playing every game, Plus, they'll all be playing for their nations. Gomez might not, but Konate and Van Dijk definitely will. You look at those next 8 games, I'll tell you now, that is not an easy game. Crystal Palace will definitely give Liverpool a good game. Brentford away, under the lights, not easy. Chelsea away, not easy. Man City and Real Madrid in there. Between now and the 9th of November, we will find out if Liverpool are going to retain this league. The narrative was last season, Liverpool haven't played anyone. Liverpool haven't played this and played that. If they can get to January and then bring in a centre-back of real quality, someone like Mark Gahey, and go back to basics, Arne Slot has said he might need to go back to what won the league last season. He might need to go back to what he knows. I'm looking at this right now, and I just genuinely think they need to do something. They really do. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you next time. I am out.